a locked away power that you attain after you actually do the work. And you'll see how better of a person that you end up being versus the person you was before you did things like self-evaluation, self-reflection, and trying to promote self-growth out of yourself, taking accountability for your actions, being a responsible adult, being that responsible person, and actually using your powers to be who you want to be and not be who society deemed you to be or who your parents grew you up to be. Maybe it doesn't match with who you actually want to be. So you need to take this initiative. You need to use your power and to do your magic and make it happen, because it can happen. I've done it. I'm doing it right now. Hello, my fellow goddesses. My name is Goddess T, and welcome to episode 1 of the Goddess TV series. This episode is focused on the power of self-reflection. As goddesses, as newly known or newly identified goddesses, we don't realize the many powers that we have, and we don't cultivate them because we just are oblivious to our powers and are oblivious to the abilities that we actually have. So I want to get into the very first power I feel like that led me to where I am now. And it was a very important one because it is the very thing that allows you to see so many things and to know what not to do and what to do for the future. You look through your things in the past, you look through your actions, you look through everything that happened in the past, and you apply what works and you don't apply what doesn't. It's a power because it allows you to progress. It always allows you to be progressing and to never fall short on your progression, because you know what didn't work and you know what does work, or you know what to try. You know what to try next because you know that the other option didn't work, so you know what to do the next one. So the tips that I will be giving you today that is focused on self-reflection is going to help you with personal growth through the lens of self-reflection, because that's the goal here. Well, that's one of the goals here. Growth is always the goal, especially if you are somebody that don't know the things that you can go to and can cultivate in this life, and don't know the powers that you wield or the powers that you can wield. If you don't know that, then that's the first step, is to be trying to go for your personal growth. Always be trying to grow and know more, learn more, and that's what the goal is with this first episode. So let's get into the main questions that's going to help us with understanding why self-reflection is even important. As said previously, self-reflection is a very important phase or a very important activity. By you sitting there and taking the time to reflect every once in a while on the things that you went through, real life experiences that you went through, and how those real life experiences hindered you or helped you in that circumstance that you was in. You take what you learned from the lesson, and you also don't take what didn't help you through the lesson. You don't take that. You leave that in the past. You leave that with what you learned, because it's something that you learned. It was a lesson. It was something that you learned didn't work for you. It was something that you learned you shouldn't do. It was something that you learned that didn't help you. So you know not to do that again. Whereas if you kept doing the same thing over and over again, not taking the time to reflect on your past actions, you won't know what went wrong. you won't know what to stop, and you won't know where to you would just keep going. You wouldn't know that it would even be a problem. You would just be complaining. You would be one of those people that complain about the same situations that they go through every day, rather being that problem solving person that just fixes your problems, or get somebody else's, or get someone to fix your problems for you. Next question: how does self-reflection make you a better person? And I touched on this earlier. Self-reflection makes you a better person because you are always being better. You are always doing the right things. You are always doing things that either you know is going to do you good because you realize you learned that in the past. You learned that this is something that actually helps you, or you're finding out, you're going through certain circumstances to see if this is something that can help, or you that can help you or cannot help you. And you see, you make the decision, do your evaluation, and you take what don't work and you don't take what doesn't. And that's going to always make you a better person because you always doing the work to be better. You actually took the time to reflect on who you were and what you did to make certain things happen, or what you allowed other people to do to you to allow for certain things to happen. That's why reflection is such a is a tool that is always intended and will always make you a better person, because reflection allows you to look back at yourself. It allows you to do that reevaluation on everything. And I feel like when you don't do that, it makes you this person that isn't growing, that doesn't have that growth mindset, because that's what self-reflection eventually leads to. Like, you constantly self-reflecting will most likely and most definitely lead to you having a growth mindset, because you are always trying to do better. Like, you are always trying to learn what didn't work and what does work for you. That's growth. That's you building up your it's like building up all the things that you learn from your experiences and actually categorizing them in your head. Oh, this works, this doesn't work for me. I shouldn't go down that path. It doesn't work for me. I shouldn't go down this path. It doesn't work for me. And that will ultimately make you a better person than the next person that hadn't done something like that, because they're not taking the time out to make themselves a better person. They're not taking the time out to not be the bad person or make the same bad decisions that they did in the past. So of course you would be a better person. Of course you will only reap benefits, or you only reap the benefits of that by being a better person and having a growth mindset, because you actually did do the work. And then last question: what are the ways to use self-reflection to promote self-growth? I would say some ways could be like always being mentally aware of the times you need to self-reflect. Maybe you create yourself a schedule. Maybe you write it down every other day. Writing what worked for you in past circumstances and what didn't work for you. What did you learn? Like, you write down 5 things that you learned about yourself in the week, or in the last 2 days or something, and you just do that every once in a while, or create a schedule around it. Because the more time that you self-reflect, the better you become as a person, and the more you obtain that growth mindset. I would think so. I would definitely say to do something like writing it down or speaking it aloud to yourself in the mirror, making sure that you're taking in, like, you mentally coming to terms with the things that you've learned and the things that you are self-reflected on, and actually take the time out to dwell on the facts, so you really don't do the things that you learned that didn't work again, and not like relapse, and not like go back and just do it again, because you already know what happened. You already know where it led you, so you shouldn't do it again. You should just be honest with yourself. And that's another thing. This is making you a more accountable person. And as you take on more accountability for your actions and the things that you've done, you will ultimately become a more well-rounded person, because you are also taking the time out to do that. Like, you are taking accountability. You're being that responsible adult or person, whoever you are, you being that responsible goddess and taking on the realisticness, being realistic about what it is, who you are, and who you want to be, and who you see yourself being. Like, sometimes the people we want to be don't actually match up with the people that we are. So we have to be the ones that actually take initiative to do the work and make what we see or what we want to see a reality. You have to be able to cultivate and use your powers to do that for yourself and for the things that you want to happen around you. And if you can't do it for yourself first, how would you create that outside of yourself? It's almost like a locked away power that you attain after you actually do the work, and you'll see how more powerful you feel, and how better of a person that you end up being versus the person you was before you did things like self evaluation, self reflection, and trying to promote self growth out of yourself, taking accountability for your actions, being a responsible adult, being that responsible person, and yeah, and actually using your powers to be who you want to be, and not be who society deemed you to be or who your parents grew you up to be. Maybe it doesn't match with who you actually want to be. So you need to take this initiative. You need to use your power and to do your magic and make it happen, because it can happen. I've done it. I'm doing it right now. So there's honestly no excuse for anybody, other than the fact that they don't know the fact that they can do something like that. They don't realize their power. They just stuck in the rut of a life that someone else created for them. And that's the way not to get into your goddess energy or your god energy as a man or a female, or whatever you decide you are. That's the opposite way to get in there, because you have to take your power back. You have to be able to wield your power and create the life that you want for yourself. And that concludes episode 1 of the Goddess TV series, self-reflection and how it promotes self-growth. I really hope you learned something from this. I hope this was an eye-opener for whoever may need it to hear it. You can drop anything that you want to say in the comments below. You can tell me about your day. You can say hello. You can say goodbye. You can say how you feel about what I said. You can say if this is something that you did go through in the past that you've done, and you could tell me a success story. You can say whatever you want, really. You can even hate. I don't really want, like, I mean, I don't want to say I don't want the haters, because there's always going to be a hater, but it's like, I'd rather you just join the community of goddesses. Tapping into your power, because that's what I'm trying to promote. I'm really trying to get the girls to tap into their power, because as women, we deserve to know that. We deserve to know every power that we can use to our benefit in this man-eating world that we are slowly turning over into the goddess realm. So yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and join the goddess community. I will see you all in episode 2, which will be dropping next week on Friday. The schedule is to be posted every Friday. That's the goal. I'm currently going through schedule changes, so it may change. We never know. Life changes things. But the goal is to keep this series going and to keep enlightening my goddesses, my fellow goddesses that are coming into their power and cultivating it. So yeah. Mwah.